All right, let's give this a try, shall we? All right, so hello everyone. My name is Lily Pandas, for those of you who don't know me, and I am just a girl who really likes nutrition and who has recently found a passion for all things health and wellness. And I wanted to make my first video and talk a little bit about my story and my personal health journey, specifically related to gut health. So my journey begins as far back as my childhood. I was actually very fortunate to grow up with a mom who was very health conscious and also an amazing chef. So we pretty much had homemade meals all of the time. We ate a lot of whole foods, and she also treated us very holistically in terms of, like, if we got ill, we would do herbs and supplements and use food as medicine. And so I kind of was brought up with that mindset. So I was a pretty healthy kid. I was skinny growing up, had no complications, no allergies, no nothing. Then I moved out of my house to go to college, and I moved to California. And I grew up in Costa Rica, by the way. So I moved to California and I went to college, and I was kind of off on my own for the first time, and like most college students experience, my health started deteriorating, and that was obvious because of the excess alcohol, the sugar, the processed food, the lack of sleep, stress, all of the things that go into being a college student. Because of that, I started to have symptoms. So I especially started to have bloating issues. I would literally look 6 months pregnant after almost everything that I ate, and I could not pinpoint it. I thought it was gluten. I tried removing dairy. I thought it was, alcohol, all these different things, but I just couldn't figure it out. It seemed like everything was really bloating me. So that was one of my main concerns. I also had brain fog. I had insomnia. I could not focus very well. I had very low energy. And then also on top of all of that, I started getting really bad migraines. So my migraines would start with blurred vision, and then they would turn into just a throbbing headache for the next 3 or 4 hours. I did a bunch of different tests throughout the next few years. I got my eyes checked. I went to multiple doctors. I also got an endoscopy, I think that's how you say that, for my bloating issue. So that's when they put the tube down your throat and into your stomach and your intestines to kind of see what's going on over there. And basically they diagnosed me with IBS and then sent me on my way, which was pretty much the diagnosis that I got from every doctor and specialist that I saw, which was really discouraging because it didn't really help me. I mean, they would give me some pain medication or some drugs of some sort and kind of just send me home, and so it didn't really ever address the root cause. So I kind of just, accepted all of these symptoms as my new normal, and over time, especially towards the end of my college career, I really just started hitting rock bottom in terms of my health and also my happiness. I was very lost. I was in a major that that didn't fit me. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and then senior year was coming up, and all of that stress that comes along with graduating. And I realized that I was looking for answers in all of the wrong places, and I was asking all of the wrong people, not wrong people, but I was just asking everyone except for myself. And I really wasn't checking in with myself and trying to figure out, what is the best decision for me? What should I do? What is my body trying to tell me? And so that realization really helped me to change things around. The first thing that I did was, after graduating, I moved in with my boyfriend at the time, and that was the first step to kind of just take my life back into my own hands, because I really just wanted to be with him, and I knew that that was the one thing that made me truly happy. And that's when things started to go uphill. I discovered my passion for nutrition, which was really obvious given my mom's background and what I grew up around. I began to cook every single night. I started to just dive really deep into everything related to health and wellness, doing so much of my own research, listening to podcasts, reading books, talking to people, and I just started absorbing information like crazy. And so then over the next 2 years, I really became my own detective and experimented with so many different things, with different diets, with different fitness programs, just all sorts of modalities and techniques that I could get my hands on. I tried vegetarian, I did pescatarian, I did high carb, low carb, keto, paleo. I mean, I pretty much tried almost everything. And, you know, there were some things that worked, some things that didn't, and eventually I came across the Whole30, and that's kind of when things started to click for me in my own body. I found paleo through the Whole30, and I kind of never turned back because I felt amazing. And since then, I'm happy to report that I no longer have migraines unless I eat something with really high gluten. I think that that's what really sets it off. But so I pretty much don't have migraines. I've lost the excess weight. I sleep amazing. I don't have brain fog. I can focus. And my bloating has gotten a lot better, but it's still not completely healed. And that's kind of what brings me to my next point, is that I'm still on this journey of figuring out exactly what has to be done to heal my gut. And a lot of Americans and just people in general have gut issues, gut dysbiosis, because of the lifestyle and foods that we eat. And what I've realized is that it takes a really long time to reverse the damage that has been done, also from things like antibiotics and NSAIDs, so things like Tylenol and Advil and ibuprofen and all those things. So I am still on this journey, but the good thing is that I am a lot closer to optimal health than I was a few years ago. So the next step that I took trying to get to the root cause of my bloating and my digestive issues is working with a functional medical doctor. So a functional MD is basically a holistic medical doctor. So they really get to the root cause of your problems instead of just giving you drugs to cover the symptoms. But the problem with that is that functional medical doctors are unfortunately not covered by your insurance. And so it's an out-of-pocket expense, and it is quite pricey. So I was doing my research, and I reached out to a functional medical doctor that I really wanted to work with, but he got back to me and his prices were like, I think almost $1,000 an hour or something crazy like that. So that obviously wasn't going to work, but he gave me the recommendation to work with his basically right-hand man. It's a student who just finished PA school and was kind of working under him. And I was very happy to do that because he would kind of have to run everything by him anyway. And my problems aren't as extreme as some cases. It was a 1-hour conversation, and it was really helpful. And that was after I did a full blood panel, which, by the way, if you are interested in doing that, make sure you call your health insurance before and see if they will cover any of that, because I didn't do my research well enough, and let me just say it's very expensive. So I'm still dealing with that, trying to figure out if my health insurance will cover any of it or not, but anyway, the damage has been done, and I'm kind of glad I didn't know how expensive it was going to be, because I don't think I would have done it, and I kind of just went for it, and now at least I know where I'm at in terms of my blood work. And I was super happy to get my lab test back, because it showed me that all the hard work I've put into changing my diet and lifestyle have really paid off. I was pretty much in optimal range for everything, and I'm talking like hormones, vitamins, heavy metals in the body, cholesterol, protein. I mean, everything was in optimal range except for two things, and that was my iron levels and my vitamin D. Vitamin D, most people unfortunately are deficient in, but that's not a tough fix. I just started taking a vitamin D supplement, and it was also winter, so I hadn't seen the sun in a little while. And the other thing was iron, and the reason that I am low or high in iron, my iron's too high, is because I am anemic, but with thalassemia, or with an iron overload is what they call it, and that is a genetic blood disorder that I have from my dad, and so that's not something that was a concern, basically. Anyway, everything else was optimal, which was awesome, but it was a bittersweet feeling. It's awesome because it tells me that, you know, everything I'm doing is worth it and that I'm on the right track for sure. But on the other hand, it doesn't get me anywhere closer to figuring out what's going on in my gut, because I'm still bloating and I'm still having indigestion and stomach pains every once in a while. He put me on a 30-day diet plan to kind of just try one more time with food, because the other option was getting a GI test, which basically is a full gastrointestinal test, which they can do now. It's a stool test that you send into the lab, and then they can read all of the different bacteria in your gut and kind of see what's going on. But those are very expensive. It just wasn't something I could afford. And so we tried food first, and I went on a 30-day really strict plan to try to cut out caffeine, sugar, grains, all of it, and got a little bit better, but it still, once again, just did not solve my problem. And so I knew I had to do this gut test, and I was kind of waiting around to see if I could save up money or what I could do. And lo and behold, this company called Biome that I really like for supplements that they sell were having a leap year sale for their gut test. It's not the best one out there, but it is definitely a good one. It's a DNA-based qPCR analysis of the stool specimen. They are able to tell you exactly which bacteria you have more of, the good ones or the bad ones, and kind of what the best approach is to get things back in balance. Louie's joining me for the rest of this conversation. But anyway, I'm super pumped because I was able to get that and afford it, and this is the test right here. So I just got this in the mail a few weeks ago, and Austin was actually able to get one too because he has some other symptoms as well. And the thing about gut problems is that it can result in like 1,000 different types of symptoms depending on the person. I mean, everything from like hair thinning to, you know, not sleeping well, or stress, or your skin's dry, or you have digestive issues, or acne. Like, there's so many different problems. And then there's also the gut-brain barrier, so you can have a lot of like brain fog or migraines or things like that also. So it's just like there's so many different symptoms for it, and gut disease is at the root of all chronic disease. So you literally cannot have a chronic disease without some sort of gut dysbiosis. And so obviously gut health is super, super, super important and crucial to optimal health. You can't be healthy and have a messed up gut. So anyway, we got one for him too, which I'm really excited about. And we will be doing this. I don't really know. There's not much to show you in here, but it's a lovely stool test that you then send into their lab, and then I think it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get your results. And once my results are in, I do have a scheduled consultation with my functional medical doctor's assistant again to go over the results, as well as with a specialist from Biome. So I'm super excited because I feel like I'm finally getting one step closer, and this is something that I'm super passionate about. And if I'm able to cure myself and my gut problems, then hopefully I can help other people get there as well someday. So that's been my journey so far. I'm super excited to finally be sharing this with you guys, because I know that there are so many people out there who are dealing with the same or at least similar issues as I am. And if this can inspire even just one person to kind of follow their own journey and find their optimal health and well-being, then I've done something good, and then that makes me really happy. And yeah, I think this is something we all need to talk about. And don't give up. Just because you haven't found the answers in one place or one thing doesn't work doesn't mean you need to just give up. It means you need to keep going, and you've ruled one thing out, so you're actually just one step closer. So thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this resonates with some of you, and hopefully I will be making more videos from here on out. So thank you again for watching. Bye. Okay, bye. Bye.